All right, so YouTube, Twitch, friends, family, people. It's a vintage preliminary. Um, we are playing a really cool card game. It's a really new card game. You guys probably haven't heard of it. It's called the Walking Dead card game. I know it looks a lot like Magic the Gathering online, but it's actually the Walking Dead card game. See, we have Glenn from the Walking Dead. Yeah, yeah. All right. Serious thoughts. This card is okay. Um, it's like a little bit of a powered up Selkie. It's definitely playable. I wouldn't like recommend playing it, but if we were to make any of the Walking Dead cards playable in Vintage, I think this one is the best. I know people are high on the White Humans Matter card, but I don't really like that card. I think it's Rick, maybe. I don't think that card is that good. This card, on the other hand, is blue. And if you're a blue card in Vintage, it means you pitch to Force of Will, and Force of Negation, and Misdirection, and Commandeer? Did I say and Commandeer? I guess also and Commandeer. So the idea behind this deck is I'm playing 8 Exalted Creatures to make my Glen draw extra cards. And then I'm playing a pile of free counter magic, and we're just trying to play a tempo game where we connect with Glenn, outdraw our opponent, counter their important spells, and attack them for lethal. You'll see some of the normal blue suspects: Lavinia, restricted cards, Daze. I have a Brazen Borrower as a catch-all. You're also playing Stripmine Wasteland, so you actually have some amount of game versus Bazaar. Swords, so you have some amount of game versus creature decks. 1 Deafening Silence in the main. I think if there ever was a Deafening Silence, the creature-based counter spell deck is probably the one where Deafening Silence is good. So we've been trying some number of Deafening Silences, 75 of this list. I got a pile of Graveyard Hate, a pile of Combo Hate, a pile of Force of Vigor, Collector Oofs for, like PO and Shops, and the finish up the 4 Swords of Plowshares in the 75 so that we can actually play against creatures. I played a league with this deck. I did a very solid 1 win, 4 losses. But I felt like we had the tools we needed. I was trying a little too much experimental cards in there. Didn't have enough sideboard shot cards against Dredge. Didn't have enough main deck swords. So there was some problems. There were some problems. However, this thing has Skulk, which has come up a couple times. Pretty good ability, actually. Armogoyf typically can't block this card. I had 1 game against Hogak where my Glen drew me like 20 cards. I had to swords their Hogak, so they had like 30 life, so it was pretty fun. Anyways, let's play Magic. I won the die roll against Sanchez. Ready, set, go. Keep. This is such a sick hand, too. I have a Wasteland if it's a Bizarre matchup. I have a turn 1 Noble Hierarch, and then on their upkeep Ancestral. There's like some amount of value to going turn 1 Deafening Silence, hold up Negation on their turn. I wonder how I feel about such a play. Because there's some reasonable amount of value to doing so. Obviously, the big thing is I could draw a blue card on my next turn, and then I would have an Ancestral with Force backup. I actually think that might be reasonable. I'm gonna jam and see how that goes. Let's try it out. Obviously, there's we have a Noble Hierarch, so even if we get Wastelanded, we can still cast things. I think this makes sense to me. Alright, so this card pretty good against every blue deck. Also kind of reasonable against the Shops decks that are currently being played. A lot of Shops decks right now are like the Golos variety, where they don't have a lot of... That's fine. Where they don't have a lot of creatures, so actually pretty decent against Golos Shops. Lightning Bolting our Hierarch is obviously sad, but it's not the huge deal because we're just going to Wasteland them. And then I'm not going to Ancestral on their upkeep. What I'm going to do is hope that they play like Land Preordain, and then Ancestral after they've cast Preordain because they can't cast a counterspell. Alright, so this is good. Opponent is going to look at my hand. I actually don't have to do anything in response. I don't want to show them the cards I draw off Ancestral, but they no longer can cast non-creature spells this turn, so they can't counter my Ancestral. They also can't cast like preordains or anything. So now I'm just going to cast Ancestral, target myself. Perfect. I now have Force backup for a Glen, and then I also have another blue card to pitch to for. Oh, I can't play a Glen though, because I don't have blue mana right now. So we're gonna have to just settle for a Kazali Pride Mage, which is fine. Double Force. Island, sure. Hell yeah. I need TSM to get some wins, because right now I am one of the 50,000 people in the world who have a perfect bracket. I'm in the top 1.8%. So I really would like the perfect bracket in my group stages. But I think I need TSM to pick up some wins because I was an idiot and I put them third. Oh, Mystic Sanctuary, not a great draw, but also not a bad draw because we will eventually cast our Glen, so. That would be League of Legends. You have another Lightning Bolt? I would be pretty okay with this getting Lightning Bolted. It means my Glen wouldn't get Lightning Bolted. Obviously, there's a problem where my Glens can be Pyroblasted, but I mean, I have a backup Glen. Until they cast a spell, I need a Force. Okay, that's good. That means that opponent doesn't have a spell for this turn. Does mean that they can... Oh, they're going to play an Arcanist. I actually think I have to force the Arcanist, unfortunately. So my question now becomes, do I force pitching Negation so that when I get my Glen Pyroblasted, I can untap and play another Glen? That's my biggest question right now. I mean, my Kazali Pride Mage could be just good enough to get through. So maybe I can just pitch Force of Will. Or maybe I can just pitch Glen. No, like, I want to play, like, the trick to playing meme decks in Vintage is you still have to play good cards. You can't just only play meme cards. This is kind of decent because it really makes a fast clock and also lets me have a lot of blue mana. I think it's still correct to play the Glen, even though it runs into a Pyroblast pretty badly. So we have to find out if holding on to a negation was better than holding on to a second Glen. And I think it will be, just because our Pride Mage is a good enough clock on its own. Alright, so that's enough spells for one turn. And then we'll have protection for our Pride Mage on our turn, because we have enough blue sources. Actually, working out pretty well. Oh, wow, they're playing Pyromancer? That's a really big problem for us. Because we're really not equipped to deal with a Pyromancer, so they do have Gush. Really, really unfortunate. So I wanted to play around Gush a little bit, but maybe that wasn't the best way to do so. I mean, at least we have a 2-turn clock, but the problem is they're just going to chump forever as long as they find, like, a Ponder every turn. And I really don't have any way to deal with this. I have a 2 swords in the main, I guess, is my way to deal with this. Interesting. That's kind of good. You can actually do both on the same turn. That's actually just kind of an insane draw. So they're going to Pyroblast right now. What I think I'm going to do is get the spell to resolve. Does that make sense? If I just bounce Young Pyromancer and play a Brazen Borrower... Hmm. I think so. I think that makes the most sense. This is gonna make it so they can't, like, borrow, We have another Pyroblast, the third Pyroblast. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's better than getting my Borrower Pyroblasted, I guess, but... This is, like, a real classic example of where vintage is at the moment. Opponent has just smacked me in the face with 3 Pyroblasts, including sending 1 Pyroblast against my Tundra because it just doesn't care. This is not a bad draw, though. Opponents probably not have that many Pyroblasts left, and this is going to turn off their 2 Delve spells. Or they just have a Force of Will. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I'm going to win this game, to be perfectly honest. I actually think I'm going to lose this game because opponent's playing Young Pyromancer, which is, I mean, good on the opponent, I guess. Not a card I expected to see in 2020, but there's no reason to play this pre-combat. It is a lethal double attacker, which makes opponent need to find some spells, but I guess, yeah, that is a fair point. I don't know. I just think it's a pretty underwhelming Magic the Gathering card in general, but... Yeah. I mean, we kind of needed a swords at some point. I guess our swords probably would have gotten forced, so we would have been pretty sad. 1 top, 1 bottom can't be good for the home team. That's not a very good draw. I really can't afford... I guess I can't afford to attack with both. They block once or maybe double block. If they have a spell... Yeah, I think I'm attacking with both. Really? Are you insane? That can't be right. There's no way that's correct. I mean, I'll take it. I still have a 2-turn clock with my Noble Hierarchs. Are you insane? I mean, maybe they just have a Delve spell and I can't ever win or something. What does this what does this hit? It just hits Preordain or Lightning Bolt. I guess they might hit Lightning Bolt. That block makes no sense to me with the information I currently have. I don't understand. They're gonna put a Preordain. I mean, all they have to do is hit a Delve spell and they win the game. So they chose not to use it. I have no idea what's going on. They fetched. Don't understand. They go to 1. I guess they have Hardcast Force of Will up. That's what they're doing. I mean, the restricted blue cards are broken. This is a true statement. I don't know what opponent just made some very questionable decisions. I don't think there's any way in hell I would ever block with my Young Pyromancer there. I can see double blocking 1 Pride Mage and letting 2 damage in. So they found the Cruise. They have to draw, like, they have no options. They're dead unless they draw a creature. They have to draw a creature. They need a creature, and then, alright. Deafening Silence looked real good there. That was so weird. Opponent played very odd. Alright, so in this matchup, I want to bring in a Flusterstorm, and I want to bring in Deafening Silence, I think. And then I have to choose how I want to board out. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe we just board out the 2 collector oofs, and then I think I want some number of swords. Commandeer is obviously a pretty big card disadvantage, but I don't know if I would bring it out. Do I really want 4 swords? I don't really think I want 4 swords. Maybe we just take out Daze on the draw. Commandeer is gonna steal a DAC. That's the kind of thinking I like to see. I think I just want to take out these cards. This is true. This is true. I might. All right, I can go up to 3, and I'm gonna board out a negation. Maybe I don't want 3 deafening silence. Maybe I don't actually want 3. Maybe I only want 2 deafening silence. Deafening silence is just okay, I think, versus the Jeskai deck, whereas it's great versus like PO and Doomsday and those kind of decks. Let's try this. Yeah, I really don't understand what opponent was thinking with their line, but I mean, I'm gonna take it, right? This is a pretty good hand. I don't hate this hand at all. I have a lot of game against hands that are reliant on creatures from the opponent. I have Ancestral Protection. I have the mana to cast my spells. I'll draw a Glen and play a turn 2 Glen. It's gonna be great. Yeah, I'm not gonna... Every time I've ever mental misstepped a probe in this situation, I've always regretted it. So I've decided it is time to stop doing so. I can't do it anymore. The only downside is that the Tundra is the non-fetchable land, or yeah, the Tundra is the land instead of a tropical, because then I could actually have Brainstorm fetch. Whereas I have to play this Noble Hierarch on turn 1, so I'm gonna have to use my fetch land. Yeah, that happens a lot. It's kind of nice that we have a wasteland, but opponent doesn't know about it. It's nice that we have 8 creatures that are not pyroblastable as well. I was worried about our exalted creatures because they are not blue, so they don't pitch to any forces. But the fact that they are non-pyroblastable threats has been quite good, actually. So, all right, you have a DAC. Kind of unfortunate. But we have a swords. They have 3 cards in hand here. I think what I'm gonna do is play swords right now. I don't really see what could go wrong. They would have to have a negation, I guess. I think that's fine, though. So, is there any reason why I should play a land instead of playing a wasteland? And the reason is I want to play a Noble Hierarch this turn. So yeah, let's do that. I definitely want to force this because I definitely want to swords this because I want to be able to force. If they force of will this, then obviously it is a problem, but what I'm gonna do is play this Hierarch and start attacking, I think. I still have force of will, misstep, and fetch, so and waste, so I think I would rather start getting in damage than hold up like a brainstorm with no fetch land. They know I have misstep, so we have to be careful of like lightning bolt as bait. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Deathray Shaman would be broken if it was blue. I know dying to Pyroblast is a bad thing, but being castable off of island, every island is more powerful. I don't feel that it's correct to counter Ponders when the 1-drop spells in this matchup matter so much more. Ancestral, Pyroblast, Lightning Bolt, Swords to Plowshares, those cards are very important in this matchup. whenever you like go for the Ponders and the Preordains, it's like pretty greedy. Ancestral, though, you should probably counter. And they're probably Pyroblasting, and I'm probably just hitting them with a Force. And hoping opponent doesn't have second Pyroblast as their last card. Sweet. And then I'm going to take away their blue source, their white source. Got a lightning bolt? I think they have a lightning bolt. It really feels to me like they have a lightning bolt in their hand. Which I'm surprised they didn't like lead on lightning bolt to bait my misstep. If they have Gush, I'd be very sad, but what am I gonna do? So hopefully they just draw a creature that I can swords. And we draw Glenn. Dak Faden is a little annoying for sure. I don't really want to have to attack Dak Faden, but so be it. I guess they're gonna start making their card advantage good. Wait, they're just not gonna activate it? No, you're still supposed to activate it, opponent. You're still supposed to activate it even if the card you have in hand is really good. You just pitch the other two cards. Now I actually have agency to kill this Dak Faden because opponent decided not to plus. So now the Dak Faden goes from 3 to 1 and then from 1 to 2, and it's a really bad place for them. I even drew a negation so I can counter whatever spell they're holding on to. Obviously they're going to activate and look for a Pyroblast to protect whatever spell they're holding on to. But I think opponent is making some mistakes, but you know, that's magic. It happens. We've all been on my stream. We all know I make mistakes. Alright, so this is the card opponent held and decided not to activate their Dak Faden for. Let's see what it is. I think I've seen their name before, so I don't know if that's true. So it's now we have to figure out, did they hit a Pyroblast off of their Dak Faden? They did. Fucking unreal. God, I hate that shit. Alright, so they get the best two cards in their top 7, and we get to kill Dak, and we still have an answer to a creature if they choose to take a creature, which they probably would. If they saw a Dreadhorde Arcanist, they have an Ancestral Recall on their yard, they're highly likely to take a Dreadhorde Arcanist in their top 7. Yeah, they just didn't want to mill the Pyroblast that they knew was on top of their library. Factual statement right there. Big truth. At the very least, we get to kill Dak Faden. If we weren't able to kill Dak Faden here, we would be in a world of hurt. But they also might have missed on the Pyroblast, so maybe we wouldn't be in such a bad place. Alright. Opponent picked a land? Interesting. One of the 7 cards they picked was a land. That must mean they drew a Lightning Bolt. They must have picked Lightning Bolt land. They must be trying to save their Dak Faden. There's no other way this makes sense. Unfortunately, a Force of Will is not a good draw here. But I really have no counterplay, so... No? Maybe they just had a really bad 7. Or maybe it's Cruise. Maybe they picked Cruise Fetch Land. Cruise Fetch Land would make some amount of sense. It's either they had a bad 7 or something like that. Okay. Do I wait and try to find a blue? I think I'm supposed to wait here and try to find a blue card for my swords. Cool. So let's see if this resolves. I'm gonna jam this here. I think that it's a high enough value that I should just put it in, try to put it into play. Alright, opponent. You have a Pyroblast, Swords to Plowshares, Lightning Bolt. If not, this game is gonna get over real quick. Your move. I'm playing the Walking Dead card game, whereas you are... Oh, fuck. Alright, they can put Ancestral back on the top of their library. Oh, they have a Mentor, and they're putting Ancestral back on the top of their library. The good news here is we're drawing 3 cards. We're drawing 4 cards. Holy shit. All right, somebody get a nice screenshot of this one right here. Ooh, that is a who is the more powerful creature? Who is the more powerful creature? That's a nice screenshot. Oh, that's a really bad cropping though. This one's for the Twitter. See if they chump with their mentor, or are they gonna let us draw 4 cards? All we need to do is draw a blue card. Oh no, this is an even better. this screenshot's even better. This is the correct play, by the way, because opponent's gonna put an ancestral on the top of their library and murder me. They made the right play here, though. Yeah, so we've got some problems. The opponent is going to draw 3 cards on their next turn. We don't have the Force of Will ready. There was really nothing we could have done besides draw a blue card off the top of our library instead of drawing a Pride Mage. Highly likely opponent just draws into a Pyroblast off of this Ancestral and kills our Glen, and we feel like shit. Yo, B-Goose, appreciate that.
I am powerful.
Fact. I mean, if they brainstorm lock themselves and don't find a removal spell for Glen, then we win, I think. So. Alright, they didn't brainstorm lock themselves. They found a Pyroblast. What? They find a Pyroblast and a Lightning Bolt? Ah, they found 2 Lightning Bolts. Alright, well, fuck me. Alright. I mean, Ancestral is that good. At least we made them chump with Mentor. Huh. Do I ponder? I have to ponder. There's no way I'm not supposed to ponder here. Okay, alright, okay. Take Fluster. I have a Force. Play it. Get a Pride Mage. I have a Clock. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm supposed to take Fluster, so I have a Force first. And then I can bring in the Pride Mage next. It would be Glen, comma, the Voice of Calm. Fetching another Volcanic. Interesting. Boom! That's a 3/4. Alright, 2 turns, 2 more turns. 2 more turns. Red, blue. Yeah, well, that's not fucking happening unless you have a Pyroblast as your other top deck. Nope. Now I hit their white source. And they have to draw an answer to Kazali Pride Mage. Yeah, I think so. The Walking Glens! I think opponent could have made some sequencing decisions that would have killed us this game. But I mean, you gotta learn. So hopefully Sanchez is a stream follower and can go back and watch the VODs and maybe learn a thing or two and improve. Always need to have the improving mindset. And we get to go to the next round right away. You love to see it. Glen better than Monastery Mentor confirmed? Probably true. Kind of need I don't have the message. It's in the cardboard live. What does Glenn do? Wins the game. In some sense of the words. Wait, if I sign in... Oh, fuck, aren't I? I don't care anymore. Oh, do I care? I want to send this to people.